Sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to today's BCL podcast. We'll be meeting with the two-time semi-finalists, Sydney Brothers, and we'll speak to them for the next half an hour about the BCL and their work in All-Star Media. Hi, boys. Thank you for joining us today. How are we all?
Hey,
bro, how you doing?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm all right. Well, I'm going to start off with a question that we haven't asked in this BCL podcast series yet. But we just saw the BCL jersey for the Sydney Brothers, and I'd like to get your initial thoughts on the different design of the BCL jersey compared to regular like cricket or any sport jerseys. If anyone wants to add, wants to add anything to that.
I'm happy to go. Yeah, look,
Go on, son.
the BCL jersey. It's probably one of the, I would say, arguably the most unique that I've seen so far. I think typically in competitions, you have sort of like a set design or a set template, and you just select your primary color and your secondary color. And most teams sort of, I guess, we've always stuck with the good old, black and magenta, but teams sort of go between different colors in different seasons. It's a bit hard to tell, who's who. And then I know recently, I think we played the Shadinota Cup, like the last one, where we got the opportunity to sort of design everything from scratch. But the BCL jersey is so unique in the sense that they're entirely centered around the team's logo. And so, when you see two teams battling it out on the field, exactly who's playing. And I think the design in itself is just like a phenomenal design. I think when we first saw it a few months before the, I think late last year, the whole team was like blown away. Just the magenta, the fact that the logo is so large on the thing. I think everyone's just like huge fan of the jerseys. So I love our one, and I'm super keen to see what the rest of the teams look like in their jerseys as well.
We know you guys are a part of All-Star Media. Did you guys play a part in that jersey design, or how did that come about?
No, I think it's just Shahid's brilliance, coming up with something innovative, which he always likes doing, which is why I think we're playing in a really good competition. And I think also, the fact that he took the focus away typically on, I think one of the main things I don't like about jerseys, we usually have good jerseys, but those big fat logos on the front, really throws it off. So I think, he's really taken that focus away from the jerseys, and he's given the sponsors another platform to actually advertise, which is through the Facebook. So I think that was also, that having such a good platforms really enabled that to happen as well. Because I think a lot of sponsors maybe expect that big logo on the front to get their marketing out.
Right, I'm going to ask you the next question.
Yes,
so you've already played 2 editions of BCO, and I think you guys have only been playing community cricket together for about 2.5 years. What have you seen in the growth of BCO so far? So between BCO 2022 and 2023, what have you seen different about your team and just the tournament in general?
Look, I think we'll go with Sydney Brothers first. I think as a team, we have only been playing for 2 odd years, and we're still, growing how to play better as individuals and also together. I think at the moment we're really doing well with developing playing together, and BCL as well. I think Shahid Bhai is doing wonders to ensure that every team is happy with coming into the tournament and playing the amount of games, whether it's the team that becomes champion or the team that gets knocked out, first. Every team still gets good value out of the whole tournament. And I think Shahid Bhai makes sure that any possible improvements he makes, so the next tournament's better than the previous one.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys in your campaigns, you guys have come to the semifinals twice. what sort of has been the roadblock between the semifinals and the finals, and how can you maybe capitalize
I
on
think
your experience? Sorry, in BCO 2024, and are you guys going to be the champions this time around?
hopefully, inshallah. Um, I think roadblock initially was just ourselves. Hey, a bit of pressure on the semifinals, and the other teams played well, but this time around, I reckon we're feeling it. Inshallah.
Sneaky inshallah at the end. Yeah. Okay. You guys have been playing really well in the BSL as well. Like some brilliant scores, and Ray, you've led from the front. I think you're averaging 82 plus, scoring 50s for fun. But in the Shadnada Cup, you guys had a very forgettable tournament. What was the change that you guys did, or in your mindset, that went from such a horrible series to such a brilliant one this time around?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those where you have a few bad days, but we just had bad days in a row. A couple of weeks, and we just stuck to it. We've been training. Everyone's still. The best part is we still get great numbers to training, and we're just enjoying playing together. And it will come through as long as you stick to it. And hopefully, at the moment, it's paying off, and inshallah, we can keep continuing.
Bring home the BSO, and then we'll see in the BCO final.
Yes, sir. Inshallah.
On that one as well, Hik. I think we played our Shadnota 2022. We played one Shadnota campaign, and then we started BCL basically straight after. And then we went into this last Shadnota campaign. Like, we'd sort of been playing cricket for like a year straight with no breaks.
At all.
And it was sort of just week in, week out, just like training, games, and I think by the time we had played about like 3 or 4 games of that tournament, like you could sense in the team. Obviously, we were giving it our best, but a lot of the I guess the team sort of like felt a bit flat just from playing like back to back for like an entire year. We hadn't done that for the year previously. So we again, like you said, it was a very forgettable tournament. There were some great efforts. There was some really, really standout performances, but I guess as a team we just couldn't get over the line, as many times as we would have wanted to. There were some tight losses in there. Like one game, we lost by 9 wickets, but there was only 4 balls like left in the game. I think the game against Sydney Fighters, which is that last game, we lost by like 3 or 4 runs. So we sort of couldn't get over the line. And then after that campaign, we had like a 2-month break, which I think in our history, in the last 2 years, I think that was the longest sort of break that we had from cricket. And I think everyone just took that opportunity to sort of like replenish, re-energize. We went a few weeks even just without training. We were just sort of relaxing, spending time with our family and together just off the field. And then we started training again a few weeks before BSL. Got back into it, and top of the ladder at the moment. So I think it's important not just for us, but I think for every team to sort of have that break. There's some guys in the community I see that all year round just back to back games on Sunday, play a morning game and afternoon game. If there's a comp running night games, it might even chime in for an in. I think as a team we really valued that time off that we got before this campaign, and I think it really helped us.
Yeah, and just adding that, I think we'll improve because we were distracted with all the weddings that we had to attend. There's a lot of biryani eating and a lot of dirty food that's been happening, and these consistent events. There's 2 people in particular right here who's been affecting our diet, which has affected our performances. But hopefully, once this is all over, we'll be way better in BCO, inshallah.
Yeah, I think the other thing
congratulations to Fahim and Samin.
We sort of fine-tuned our batting lineup. Really found the chemistry and the formula that works for the team. So I think with Nyman Reid opening, we found that foundational sort of opening partnership, and then we've pretty much got everyone knows their role in the team now for the batting side. So we've
I've seen that as well in the BSO. You guys have kept like a sort of consistent batting lineup throughout, and it's been very different to the one that you guys have presented before, whether it be BCO or other tournaments. What what solidified that change? And obviously, this formula is working. And yeah, so what solidified that change, and what really clicked, as in that this is going to work for us?
I know. I think it was a lot of trial and error. I think, I don't know. Maybe Captain knows the wisdom behind his decision making there, but yeah, I think it was a lot of trial and error, and then eventually something just clicked, and we sort of realized that this is what works.
I honestly think that the captain works better when he's injured. Like when his back's really bad, his head works better.
Do you want to add anything to that, Reed?
Well, seems like I'm in luck because I'm always injured, so we'll keep that going.
Look, you guys have been a very big part of All-Star Media, and especially in BCO 2022, you guys would play, commentate, and then play it while commentating as well. Samin, I'll ask you this question because you and Rakin were sort of the majority. We'd see you guys at the majority of all the games. How did you guys manage that mentally throughout the tournament?
Yeah, look, I think I guess the commentating part, it was never a chore for us because it's something that we thoroughly enjoyed. I think commentating is such a thing that if you're sort of just like doing it because you have to, you're definitely not the right person to be doing it. It's something that you should have at least some degree of passion for, even if it's just the fact that you're sitting next to a mate and just commentating on cricket. If it's not the commentating itself, the fact that you're just sitting with a mate and actually having a chat. That's what most of our commentary has been centered around. That's why you hear some of the dumbest things you'd ever hear in the background of a cricket game, being said. And then there's a game aspect, right? Again, playing cricket has never felt like a chore for us on Sundays. It's not like, I have to play a game on Sunday. It's something that everyone thoroughly enjoys. For us, it's just, it's an opportunity to just, spend time with each other. And obviously, there's a challenge at hand, and you're sort of just, working away as a team to, try and come out on top. So, commentating and playing games, it was just like you're spending time with, one or two guys next to you commentating, and then after that, the rest of them rock up and you're playing cricket. So it's like I think someone in the team once said, what do you call it? BCL games, they're not games, they're events. And that's what we sort of saw it as. Every day was like sort of its own event. And some of us would come and do commentary, we'd play games, and it was just a really nice way to spend time out of your weekend. So I personally, I never felt flat. I even had days where we have a game in crazy heat. I remember those early days of BCL 2023 out in Catherine Park, it was tough. And then jump back in the commentary box. Shad Bhai was always there with food and drinks and stuff. So got nothing to complain about. It was just a way to sometimes even just relax after a game and sort of unwind.
Well, I heard from Shad Bhai that at least on one of the night matches, it got really, really cold, and the boys in the commentary box were struggling. What were some of the struggles that we don't see behind the scenes of being a commentator? Obviously, you guys see it as more of a way to enjoy yourselves, but what are some of the struggles that also go with that?
Yeah, I think that was the I don't know who was there. I think Ron was there. I think Sads would have been there as well. I think it was the Crick Pros versus PS Masters game. I just remember Rajan taking a few catches. That's one of the things I remember. And he was playing for the PS Masters, so he would have been his team. But one of the main struggles that day was someone was really craving chalmuri, and they bought it, and it was hot, right? And we opened the box, and within 20 seconds it's cold. And that was one of the struggles that I personally faced because I was craving it. But it's just your hands are cold, your ears are cold. It's the van has to stay open, because if it doesn't stay open, then you can't see outside. And it's as much as you want to close it, it's just not you can't do it. And then every time you do want to communicate with Prashant Bhaiya, who was doing the camera work, you'd have to slide the door open as well. And you try and build up a little bit of heat inside the van, but every time you open the door, it gets cold again. So there's all these back end struggles, and I just hope for the community that you couldn't hear it in our voices. But some of those nights got super tough. But yeah, we sort of just toiled through them.
Saz, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean vice versa as well. On hot days, it gets super hot in that black van. But other than that, if you're stuck there by yourself, on the rare occasion, going to the bathroom can be a bit tough. Obviously, you need to go. But honestly, otherwise, we're always well looked after with food, or I think there was hot char on some of those cold nights. So it's always fun for all the boys, no doubt. Everyone's looking forward for it to kick off again, almost as much as the cricket.
We've got a question from Khan Rahmatullah. How do you guys keep your mind jolly during the job? It's a really tough job to carry throughout 4 consecutive hours. So, yeah, the floor's open. Whoever wants to answer that.
MDMA.
What? Okay, fine. You can't say that. Man.
No, we're just
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
we just really enjoy cricket.
you can't say that for him.
I think a big
Well,
part of it.
just to like follow up from the last question, I think one of the other struggles in being in the commentary box is like you get to watch the cricket but you can't play. I think that's one of my struggles that I struggle with. I'm just watching someone out there creaming the ball, and I'm like, we'll have a game just before, and we'll get out in the silliest ways, and we'll still be thinking about it in the commentary box, and then just sort of wish like you had another shot. But still, yeah, we enjoy our cricket, so I guess it's just good fun. It's just a bunch of boys just enjoying ourselves in the van in a very straight manner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll answer his question as well.
It's like the players keep us entertained. Like BCL, like teams are stacked typically. You have like the community's best players. They've always especially like in BCL 2023, we saw like more players come on as well. So like it's not hard when like if someone's like creaming sixes or someone's bowling like really really good line and lengths. Like we saw people hooping the ball at Kirkham like I've never seen in like any other comps. I don't know if it's the ball or if it's Camden or what it is. But like you can sort of sense a wicket coming a lot of the time in Camden, so that sort of keeps you engaged. And there's just tonkers in BCL, like every game, like someone's scoring like someone in some team scoring like a 20 ball 50. Some guys are like scoring like 70s 80s on the regular. I remember one particular weekend one particular day that I commentated last week. There was I commentated one game, there was a century, I think Zaman from Cadet College, and then the very next game Ashadul Karim from Quick Bros, he scored a ton, right? So back-to-back tons, like that's pretty crazy. It's pretty unheard of. So I mean, I guess thanks to all of the participants in the BCL comps, they've always kept all of us like entertained as well.
I think in general the level of cricket competition is quite high. A lot of the games are very close. There's 50 odd matches, and very few of them were absolute like very one-sided games. And I think we all love cricket, so that's that's fun. And also because we're all very close and mates, but it's just a bit of banter. Essentially, you're sitting there with your mate and you're talking about something you're kind of passionate about, which is cricket, and just adding a few laughs on top of that. So
I think it's just we're very close in general.
Yeah, I think it's good for us. Like it's just another opportunity for us to spend a bit of extra time with each other, and while watching a good game of cricket, can't go wrong.
We
just have some 16 team. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, just like we have some jokers in the in our team. So one like you saw today, which is for him, is a joker himself. So like, and that's the reason why I guess we're very jolly in general. We always have this funny part of ourselves to show.
For him, I saw a video not recently, but a few months ago. You invented a new shot in the nets. Do you want to walk us through that shot? Please.
It's
and a very descriptive description as well, please.
It's like when someone bowls at like a short ball onto your hips, like a normal batter would just sort of flick it off the hip. For some reason, I struggle to bring my hand across my body. to play it off the
It's
hip.
just so big, mate. That's why.
So yeah, I don't know if it's just because things get stuck here, but so what I do is instead of bringing both hands across my body, I just use one hand and sort of it's like a backhand tennis shot off my hip, and it seems to work. I don't know why, but it's just such a habit. So whenever a ball comes at my hip, instead of using both hands, I just flick it off with one hand. So yeah, I think
You
there's a
should
couple
call it the
videos
rump
of that
shot.
in Sydney Brothers page.
Nah,
if
call him the
anyone
tennis
wants to check
player.
it out. Pardon?
You,
Yeah, we
you should, you should
we're
call it
calling
the
him
rump
the tennis
shot.
player. The rump shot.
What?
Off your rump, mate. Not around. Rump.
The straight run. Yeah, it seems to work. I don't think I may have done it once in a game. But the bowlers in BCL are quite efficient. They don't really give you that sort of opportunity to just smack one off your hips. They usually keep it outside off, which is kind of annoying. But we just gotta learn how to drive and play like actual cricketers, which yeah, some of us struggle with.
I don't know if you guys have seen for this BCL, we've got 16 teams. We've got a lot of bigger names coming into this tournament. Do you guys have any team that you guys have set your sights on? And what do you think of the added competition in this tournament?
Mate, Lemon Tree Lions. I've never heard of a team being more mentioned in our team than Lemon Tree Lions. Like if we play a practice match with them or even like an actual match in the competition, I'm really fearful of them because I think the paces that we have, like Tabrez, Theam, and Rakin, are going to show you guys why we're the kings of Macquarie Fields. So, yeah, I'm really fearful of what's going to happen to Lemon Tree Lions this season.
I'm scared of a team that names themselves Lemon Tree Lions, to be honest. Yeah, that sounds like just a menace of a team.
No, but actual
Saints.
Saints is a very, very dangerous team. We've been talking about the powerful batsmen that they have, Betty, and they're a very experienced team as well in the community. So, yeah, looking forward to that because we're always here to challenge ourselves. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I reckon for me,
The Saints and Lemon Tree Lions.
Yeah, I reckon for me, it's definitely playing the Gladiators. We've been unsuccessful against the Gladiators so far. I think in two or three times. So definitely Gladiators, and also Striking Burners rematch. That game just ended up getting scarily close. They were the ones that actually knocked us out in the semifinals. So I really do want to take on the Striking Burners again. I think again, like if they'll make like playoffs at the very minimum. They'd be a strong contender for the champions. I was looking at the lineup yesterday. Pretty crazy, but yeah, I'd love to take them on again.
Well, what's for dinner, boys?
What's for dinner?
Look,
I
think that segues into like a question I already had for you guys. You guys have a very strong like culture of bonding with each other as well. What do you guys do to keep sort of each other close outside of the cricket field? I know you guys are sponsored by Queen's, was it? Queen's Kebabs? King's Kebabs. So
no Queen's blasphemy over here.
Not the competitor.
yeah. So if anyone wants to walk through like, how you guys sort of unwind after games or after training.
A big, large heart attack meal from King's.
That's the way.
So Raid has a question.
Raid,
Yeah,
the
question for Raid here.
20 balls, 30 runs. What's your message to your bowlers? Actually, like I think Rakin was there was a match. I think you guys versus us. It was a very tight match. It was the night match. It was a very similar situation. You guys had, it was anyone's game. I think Asif Anik was batting, and he sort of held the lineup up. Asif Anik and Nabil. Obviously we won the match in the end. But what was your message to the bowlers in that game? And in that situation, how do you sort of approach managing the field?
I think at that during that game, I remember at one point when we felt we were on top, the main target there was to keep building that pressure, and for us not to change anything, and you guys have to change. And if you play a shot out of pressure, there's a bigger chance that you're going to make a mistake. So basically, not giving your head up first and letting you guys make the mistakes. But obviously, Asif, Hassan, Onik, and Nabil, they played good under pressure that game. They got you guys to the win in the end. I think playing the first ever night game for us as well, that was kind of tricky. So fielding, I think that's what let us down in the end during that game. Had we taken a couple of catches and key moments, I think we could have handled that pressure a lot better. But when it's a tight game like that, a couple of missed fields can cause like a domino effect, and the pressure builds. And the key is to just not let that pressure get to you. At the end of the day, it's just a cricket game, and the cooler we stay, the more chances we have to not make a mistake.
And I've seen this as well firsthand. I think there was a period where you guys were sloppy in your fielding, but then in training, you guys were punishing each other for. As a team, you took the punishment together for every little mistake. I think every wide, you guys did like a push up or something. How do you fix your mistakes in cricket in general? Whether it's bad shots, wides, misfields.
To be honest, obviously, person to person, this is going to vary. But I believe in repetition. A lot of practice doing the same thing over and over again is what will give you more control, especially when you're bowling, to not bowl those wides, or if you want to fix a specific shot, just doing those boring little drills to ensure that it just becomes muscle memory.
And just to finish things off, how do you guys prepare both both mentally and physically for a game? I think you guys go through each lineup, and I know that's a thing because I've heard it many times from you guys. You guys sit together and meet about each lineup. Look, obviously your team tactics, and you want to keep that to yourself as well, but can anyone walk us through briefly how that preparation process goes?
I think Fahim can answer that one.
You're mute, Fahim.
Amateur mistake from Fahim over here.
Fahim?
Yeah, sorry about that, boys. Can we just repeat it? So it was our preparation for
the preparation each game. I think the stats of the lineups and
yeah,
both physical and mental.
It's something we used to do a bit more consistently, which was really sort of study our opponents so our bowlers know where to bowl. But then I think over time we realized that instead of investing time on worrying about the other team, we should just invest time in sort of looking where we can improve first. So that's how I guess the mantra changed. And our preparation, I think, we had a training session this morning, and we're going to try to squeeze in 2 more training sessions before quarterfinals for BSL as well. But yeah, I think it's just going into training with a plan, not just going into training just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna swing at every ball and sort of see how many times I can connect. Sort of really thinking about what you want to try achieve in training each session for bowlers and batters.
Speaking of preparing, as we know, some BCL games are in Ramadan. How did you guys find it last time, and how are you guys going to prepare for it this time around?
I don't know if is there any preparation for that?
Just
Drink a lot
I
of
don't know.
water.
We got a solid record. We played 3 games. In Ramadan last year, and we won all 3 of them. So I know there's been some theories going around that sustenance may actually be bad for you. Potentially food and drink. It's not as great for us as a team. So we'll just we just want to eat just like last year, and hopefully we can keep the record going.
I think Limebird has proved that. Like whenever he's batting, he will not drink a single sip of water.
while I'm out
Not even
there,
a single sip of water.
feel like I'm dying, and I was just like, nah, I'm all good.
Speaking of Naim, he's a new addition to your team, and he's scored a lot of runs for you guys. How has that helped your lineup? Obviously, Ray, you're scoring runs for fun nowadays, but how has Naim, right? How has his support been for you, and where is that going to take you in the future?
I think he's absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. He just makes everything look so easy, and he puts the pressure on the opponent teams like from ball one, and the way he runs, like you're not going to believe how quick he is between the wickets and out in the field as well. Before he's even hit the ball, he's on the non-striker's end. So you know what I mean? It's just he's incredibly fast, and that puts a lot of pressure on any fielding team. And he's
I mean,
been a great addition. Not just sorry, was that?
You guys are already very fast, like a very fast couple of boys. Like you guys take singles, like you drop it here and score 2 in the circle.
I think he makes all of us look slow. So
Yeah. I reckon is he the fastest guy in community? Would you put him as the fastest guy in community? I'd put him as fastest guy.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone bigger.
And with pads on, I've never seen someone on the field and with pads. Faster.
I genuinely, honestly, I think I haven't seen anyone quicker on or off the field.
Yeah.
I think he'll give Usain Bolt a run for his money. He just doesn't want to do it. He's too humble of a bloke, but I reckon he'd give him a run for his money.
If he shaves his beard off, I reckon he cuts Usain Bolt's time by 0.1 second.
100%.
Now, Limebird is actually probably one of the best additions we had too. Personally, he's just such a humble person. He goes out of the way for the team, for everyone. So, which is amazing. Looks like the main host decided to leave.
This is the Sydney Buttons podcast now, boys.
We're gonna start BCO commentary.
Get rid of that BCO logo. That's Sydney Buttons.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I missed that, but I'm assuming
we're interviewing you now, or you're the guest.
Well, welcome to the Sydney Brothers podcast.
Thank you, Ray. You guys, I'll finish off with this final question because I know we're a bit over time already, but you guys have added Dubras, I think, to your lineup, and you already had Aiden last BCO. How has the younger players contributed to your squad, and how are you guys sort of preparing them to be a core part of your team?
These youths are a proper menace. That's what they are.
Absolute menace.
You know what you don't realize is when you get a training and you get bowled by a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old, and you get bowled pretty regularly, then you start questioning whether you should play cricket anymore. And then when you've got someone like Tabrez telling Fahim he bought a $1,000 bat to score a duck, then you know that these aren't the typical 15-year-olds that we're producing.
It's honestly like a daycare center now with these kids.
I reckon worse than getting bowled is when you get bumped and you get hit at 125 k's an hour by a 15-year-old. You're just like, where did I go wrong?
The worst part is you have to drive them home as well.
You've got to drive them home after that.
Yeah, no respect from them. Genuinely, at games, at training, no respect from them, and then you got to drive them home. And if there's a feed, you got to pay for their food as well. It's crazy.
The whole time after they'll be sneaky as well, asking them questions like, "Oh, did it hurt? How much did it hurt?"
Who's the most cheeky out of them all?
Tabras, easy.
Tabras.
Oh no, Ados is cheeky as well. Hey.
I think Aiden's cheeky. Tubras is just the straight up menace.
Menace. He needs a leash.
Look, thank you guys for joining tonight. We've had a lot of fun tonight, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the BCL podcasts and obviously in the Combox as well. And you know, I wish you luck personally for this upcoming tournament. And hopefully, you guys can get past the semifinals, please. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Please join us for the next edition of BCL Podcast then. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.